Let's go live now to the Prime Minister. He's holding a news conference in Melbourne.
In this case, melanoma is often coming from the existence of the sun and our way of life. The idea that you would not do everything you can to prevent damage to people's health, particularly young people's health, by taking government action is something that I don't understand, and I call upon all members and senators to back the leadership that Mark Butler is showing as Health Minister.
Prime Minister, two parts to this question. AMA calling for $4 billion more next year. First of all, will you be contributing that? And secondly, do the states need to be putting more weight behind the funding they're putting into health? Well, doctors were in interest groups in the lead up to a budget. There's nothing unusual about people putting forward bids. Dare I say, I'll be surprised if state and territory governments also weren't putting forward bids for funding. But what I would say is this, and I pay tribute to the Premier in particular for the leadership that she showed at her first National Cabinet meeting last year, is we came up with agreements that we're working through, trying to finalise the detail of those agreements. But essentially we established principles which will see the Commonwealth providing increased support for the health and hospital systems of states and territories. In addition to that, we have a range of programs aimed at supporting primary health care as well. And that's one way that you take pressure off the public hospital systems through the issue of urgent care clinics. We promised 50. We've delivered 58 were opened by the end of last year. What they are doing is providing services in places like Paran. There's one very close to here that I visited and opened, and it's making an enormous difference.
Just in light of the Bondi attack, should targeting women be considered a terrorism offence?
Oh, look, I know that they, in the wake of the terrible attack on Friday, on last Saturday, has had a devastating impact on people. And we know as well that violence against women is far too prevalent. We've seen last week a demonstration by people in Ballarat saying enough is enough. What we know is that violence against women is far too prevalent. It too often occurs from a partner or a family member, and we know that the statistic of a woman on average dying every week due to violence from a partner or someone they know, it doesn't tell the story. Numbers don't tell the story. These are human tragedies. As well, violence has an impact on an intergenerational impact from children who witness it in the home, and we need to do more to combat violence against women. My government's committed to doing that, and I know that state and territory governments are committed to that as well.
Are you considering tougher laws for social media companies in the wake of that graphic vision that we obviously saw over the weekend?
Well, we've taken strong action already. We quadrupled funding for the e-Safety Commissioner. I say this, media companies, including social media companies, have a responsibility to act. It shouldn't need the e-Safety Commissioner to intervene, to direct companies, in this case X and Meta, to take down violent videos that show people who have lost their lives as a result of what occurred with the perpetrator committing that atrocity on Saturday. The fact that that was circulated is something that had a real detrimental impact. The Minister for Communications has directed those companies to take down that footage. I also make this point that the police made last Saturday, which is that for people who had video footage of last Saturday, their first thought should not have been to post it online. their first thought should have been to forward it to police to assist their investigations. We all have, because social media makes all of us publishers of content, we all have a responsibility. But the social media companies that make a lot of money out of their business have a social responsibility. And I want to see social media companies start to understand their social responsibility that they have to others as well, because that's where they get their social licence.
Will you take further steps against X, given they don't appear to have cooperated with the Commission's request yet?
Look, we are prepared to take whatever action is necessary to haul these companies into line. We've made that very clear because of the damage that a failure to act can have. Thank you.
Any update on the
Thanks very
Bond visa?
Damien Guerreau was issued with his permanent residency visa yesterday, approved by the Immigration Minister. And people are working through the application of Mohammed Taha. I'm very confident that the work that's been done would indicate what you would know is that this person is clearly of good character. This is someone who put his own safety at risk working as a security officer in order to provide safety for people who were there at Westfield last Saturday. I think this Sunday there'll be a vigil at Bondi Beach, and that will be an important moment for people in Sydney to come together to show their support and solidarity for the victims and people who were injured, and also those who have been impacted by this. That has been very broad indeed. Thanks very much. Thank you.
I have a question about